Hi everyone. Good morning. Good morning. It's Paula Kettula here again, talking about play. All week, it's all about play because it is National Play Therapy Week, and I have the privilege to be a play therapist. Yes, literally, my job is to play. My job is to connect with kids, and my job is just to have fun. It's the best job in the world. And you guys have your children with you all day. All day. You get to play with them. You get to play with them. You actually get to live with them and play with them, have fun every day. What an incredible opportunity play is to connect with your child. Play has power of healing, power of decreasing stress, power of decreasing aggressive behaviors. Guess what happens when kids play more? Kids who are having aggressive behaviors, when they play more, their aggression decreases. So play is the language of children and language of childhood, which is why I'm here to teach you how to play with these videos that I've been having every morning at 10 o'clock. On Monday, I talked about kind of like definition of play and what play is. And yesterday we talked about the types of play and some general rules, general guidelines on how to play with your child. And today I want to talk about attachment play because we know from research that attachment is one of the number one factors for your child to grow up to be happy and healthy, develop positive relationships, do well in school and in their career, get leadership, their leadership skills, their social emotional development, and on and on and on I could go. So today's video is all about attachment. I'm going to talk a little bit about what attachment is, and then I'm going to give you some examples of a play and games that really foster positive connection and attachment with your child. I was just thinking about my own childhood as I was preparing for this live today. And I love my mom and I love my dad. My dad is dead. He died when I was 17 years old, but I loved my dad. However, I often felt that he didn't care about me. I often felt that I wasn't important to him. He was busy doing his thing on the weekends. And especially when my parents divorced, I was around 8 years old. Dad made a lot of promises to me. Dad said, like, we're going to be connected. I'm going to write letters to you. Yes, this was back in the day in when letters were still being written in the 80s. Yes. So the thing was like not sure what happened, life happened, whatnot, but there was a disconnection. My dad and I had a disconnection after the divorce, and I just felt terrible. I felt alone. I felt isolated. I felt so rejected and abandoned. So I had a lot of big feelings at that young age, and I didn't know how to deal with them. But I am so grateful for this experience because it's as a result of this experience, the pain that I lived with for many years as a child until I was a teenager. I was able to process these things through, and as a young adult. But that experience really sets me on a path of being curious about human nature, being curious about child development, being curious about how parents and children interact with each other. And I kind of made a vow when I was a little girl. I made a vow to myself that if there's anything that I can do to contribute to the happiness of any child in this world, this is what my task is, because I felt like I don't want anybody else to feel so terrible that like I felt as a little girl. And my story is just a story of so many people, because here's the thing: parents are not perfect. Parents are not perfect. And guess what? You don't need to be perfect. You really do not need to be perfect. However, you do get to show up for your child. It doesn't matter if you mess up, it doesn't matter if you sometimes don't know what to do, how to handle a situation. But the number one key is that repairing whatever might happen, if there's a conflict, disagreement, whatever it is, repairing that, being vulnerable, and then consistently showing up. So that's what we are talking about today, is how to develop this connection that you can uh, maintain that bond with your child, even when you have to give them a correction, even if there's some conflict or some big thing happens, like maybe there is a separation or divorce from your child's mom or dad. How to maintain that connection with your child, because kids do end up feeling very alone and very abandoned, very isolated, very confused when those sorts of things happen. They are so young, they're not really fully able to understand. So it builds resiliency and it builds safety and security when children really feel like they are connected to at least one person. So let me dive deeper into this right now. So, what is secure attachment? What is attachment to begin with? Well, it is the key to healthy and happy development. It impacts all different domains of development. That's how vital it is. That's how you hear all us parenting experts talk about that ad nauseum. Because if you can focus on this one thing, then that one thing can have a huge ripple effect. So John Bowlby was the first one to kind of develop this idea of attachment, and he talked about the secure attachment. And I'm not going to go into detail about the different types of attachments. You can research that. But the secure attachment, what that it means, it's basically gives a child the secure base for exploration, so that they have this one secure, safe place from which they can go out and explore the world and come back. And maybe they go there, they explore the world, and they come back. So it's this in and out process where they come to the parent or they come to the attachment figure to feel safe again, to feel regulated, feel good about themselves. Okay, then they are grounded in that security, they can go out there again. So that's what the secure attachment really gives children, is this space, this safety, sense of belonging, sense of being loved. Anything and everything can be healed in that place, because it's stressful out there, right? It's stressful out there outside of the secure base. So children get to come back and just kind of relax and ease themselves. Now, imagine what happens if that's not the relationship. If that relationship with parents or the caregiver is stressful, if it's conflicted, if it's scary, if the child somehow feels anxious in that, how are they then going to be able to go out on their explorations on their own in this world? It's not going to set them up for success. So that is why you are creating this beautiful, amazing, secure base for your child. So when a caregiver responds appropriately and promptly and consistently to the child's needs, and the needs are different in all the different developmental stages. So the needs of the baby are very different from the developmental and emotional needs of an 8-year old. So we get to kind of adapt to whatever the child needs and be attuned to their needs. So when the parent or the caregiver is able to respond to the needs of the child appropriately, promptly, and consistently, the result is higher intellectual potential, ability to cope with stress, self reliance, positive relationships with others, trust and safety, ability to regulate and express feelings and needs, and cope with anxiety. Wow, guys, that's everything you want as a parent for your kiddo, right? We cannot protect them from every danger, everything going on in the world. But what we can do is build them up from inside out. We can give them that security and safety, and resiliency, resourcefulness inside themselves so that they can deal with whatever the world might bring them. Okay. So research shows that, you know what, it doesn't have to be a whole lot of people that a child has this secure attachment with. All it takes, one person that the child has a lasting, secure relationship, secure attachment with. And what they discovered, as long as the child has one person that they have this sort of relationship with, it is a resiliency factor. It improves their social emotional skills, their overall happiness, academic and career success. So, I want to mention a book at this point that you may know already. If you don't, definitely check it out. It's a book by Dr. Daniel Siegel and Dr. Tina Payne Bryson called Power of Showing Up. Power of Showing Up. And in this book, they kind of pulled together the latest research findings on attachment. And obviously, I love Daniel Siegel's work. And I have had a pleasure of meeting him and interviewing him. And we actually talked about this book. So if you want to see Dr. Daniel Siegel, me interviewing Dr. Daniel Siegel, you can go ahead and apply to be part of the Circle of Support Facebook group. So in this page, on my Facebook page, you'll find groups. And if you click on the circle of support, and I'll put it also in the comment section, just click there, answer a couple questions, and there you go. You are entering a community of support where transformation happens. So my gift to you today in this group is my interview with Dr. Daniel Siegel, where he talks about his book with Tina Payne Bryson about power of showing up. So just real quick recap in what they talk about in the book is they came up with these 4 S's: feeling safe, so that the child feels safe and protected and secure; feeling seen, which is about feeling cared for, like I'm important, I'm visible. Like I was sharing with my dad earlier, I didn't feel visible. I felt I was invisible. I felt he didn't care about me. And later on, I realized that none of that was true, actually. But as a child, that's what I felt. And what I feel as a child becomes my reality. You know, what I feel as a child becomes my reality. What I feel as an adult becomes my reality, actually, as well, which is why I talk a lot about shifting out of these negative emotional states. So feeling safe, feeling seen, feeling soothed, so that the child feels like, there's somebody who can really calm them down when they are stressed out or hurt, doing that co-regulation with your child. And finally feeling secure, feeling being at home in the world. They say in the book, that's how they define this: be having a feeling of belonging in this world, and trust and predictability as well. So if you join my Facebook group today, Circle of Support, where transformation happens, I will drop in the link to my interview with Daniel Siegel as a special gift for you for joining the community. Okay. So what is also important to understand about this attachment and connection, and all the interactions that you have with your child and your relationship and your connection with them, it creates mental models in their brain, creates actually structures the brain in a certain way that then has models about the world. It has models about relationships, trust, connection, how things are supposed to look like in terms of relationships. So these mental models then are used, the child uses these things, and we as adults use them too, to predict situations and try to adapt to situations in the world, and figure out, like, okay, what might be the best thing to do here. the mental models are also part of us processing information. So you hear me talk a lot about paradigms or parenting blueprint, or in general our blueprints that we have for life in general, who we think, who we believe we are. And the work of transformation really is about shifting out of a lot of the limiting beliefs, because that is typically what we are born into. A lot of scarcity, limiting beliefs, living in a survival mode versus thriving. And these are just, it's really nobody's fault, but it's just a message and the mindset of society in general, and also caregivers, school, any environment, family in general, impact the way we start to view the world. And then it's like we have these goggles on that we have a certain perception about the world, interpret everything through that, and then we are looking for the things that are in alignment with our mental models and in our belief system. Guess what we find? We find the very thing we are looking for. So if I have a mental model that says people will abandon me, which I had a long time, I don't have it anymore because I choose to trust. But if I have a mental model that people will abandon me, I am looking for abandonment unconsciously. I am expecting abandonment. I am in resonating in the energy of abandonment. Guess what I'm manifesting now? Abandonment. So then it gets reinforced, like, see, there we go. Abandonment happens, can't trust people, blah, blah, blah. And there we go, until I change. And I've changed that mental model. I changed that because I had a strong mental model that was related to what happened with my dad. And now I choose trust. I choose that I am valuable. I am lovable. I can handle, my big, huge heart can handle anything and everything under the sky. I get to let it break wide open. That's what life is about. Like, yes, let's not protect the heart from being broken, because when we do that, we are living with a broken heart anyways. So let's engage with life joyfully and in a trusting way. Our hearts might get broken in the process, but you know what? Hearts can handle that. That's what they have. That's what they are there for. So that is my little spiel about attachment and why it's so important. So here comes the games and activities part for you. And some of these resources are coming from TheraPlay. You can check out the website. I believe it's called theraplay.org. And some of them are modified by me, so it's kind of like a little bit of Paul, a little bit of TheraPlay. And honestly, I sometimes don't even know where I learned or got some of these activities. So I apologize ahead of time if I don't give the right credit to where credit needs to be, because I honestly don't know where do I pick up all this stuff that is in my brain. It gets kind of jumbled up and fused with my experiences and adaptations as well. So one way you can really build that connection with your child is through these activities. And my invitation would be just to do these activities on a regular basis with your child. And once you introduce these games to your child, you can always invite the child to play. Like, hey, you look a little down today, or something like that. Maybe they are just like moping around or something, like, hey, you look a little down today. You want to play one of the games we played, and then you can name it and invite, always inviting the child to play. And it's up to them. They may say yes, they may say no. You can always ask, well, is there anything else you'd like to do? What else? How can I be here for you? Maybe you just want a hug. So even if the child says no, you can ask, like, well, tell me, what do you need? So let's talk about the first one. This is really cute and so gentle and so beautiful. All you need for this one is a feather, so very light feather. And I have played this with children and we play it for a long time sometimes. So you just have a feather, and the goal of the game is like, I have the feather in the palms of my hands, and the child is right there, and I just gently blow it towards the child, and they need to catch it with the palms of their hands like this. So we can't touch it, we can't take it with our fingers. Has to be open palm, maybe one or two hands, and you just blow it to the child, and the child blow it back to you. I've played this game with children as young as 3 years old, and they love it. There's this serenity that settles over, quietness, concentration, and you're so connected. There's no words that are needed. And play this with your child as long as they want to play. Okay. So that is one of my favorites. I used to, when I was in my play office, I had a feather right on my desk, always had a feather there. So we could play this game anytime we wanted to connect. Okay. Another game is, you can use different things for this. Cotton balls are great. Pom poms are great. But the idea is to have the child look away, and you take turns. Have the child look away, and you hide cotton balls like somewhere. Maybe it's somewhere in your hair. Like I would have a good hiding spot right here. Um, Anywhere under your clothes, in your shoes, your socks, whatever you can think of. Hide cotton balls or little pom poms, and maybe just say how many you're gonna do, so that it doesn't like end up being this crazy scavenger hunt. So maybe start with 5, and then the idea is that the child would like touch you everywhere, and you would try to find them, and maybe have the kind of, depending on your child, you can have the child go first or you go first. It doesn't matter, but it ends up being really, really fun. I recently played this game, and the child put a cotton ball in her mouth. So then the mom had to like, where is it? Where is it? Open your mouth, and had to go in there. This is so beautiful way to connect, and that touching is so important for attachment. So the point here is like, you end up touching your child ends up touching you in all these different places. One fun one for the whole family is this balloon game that I like to play a lot, which goes like this. So you're holding hands. Let me see. I want to put you a little bit further away. So you're holding hands with everybody in the family. So however many people you're holding hands, you cannot let go. So the goal of the game, do not let go under any circumstances. And you get to hold a balloon up in the air. So you might be using your elbows, your hands, your head or knees, or whatever it is. The goal is to have just this balloon up in the air, not touching the ground, holding hands. Again, that connection is happening, and you try to keep that balloon up. If you want to have a little big challenge, have 2 balloons. Depending on how big your family is, you might even want to do that. So super fun game, really grounding, and it's just having fun and connecting together. The other one is very simple. Little kids love this. Toddlers love this, when 2, 3 year olds, and it's a mirror game. So basically, you're just mirroring each other. So I could go like this, and the child mirrors me. Or I could go like this, I could go like that, I could go like that, whatever. And the child gets to mirror you. You take turns, and then the child comes up with all kinds of different movements, and you get to mirror them. And again, it's like a dance. It's like a beautiful dance you are engaging in with your child, and you can make it really silly too. Kids usually tend to make it kind of silly. So just go with the flow. They might stick their finger in their nose. You get to do the same. um, and the last one I want to share today is animal hugs. So, animal hugs is basically just, you could even have like a little box or little stack of cards with different kinds of animals. Maybe you have a bear, Maybe you have a giraffe. Maybe you have something interesting like a hummingbird. Like, how would a hummingbird hug? Maybe it could be like rubbing noses together, like it would be the hummingbird peak or something like that. I don't know. I just came up with that. So the goal is like, yeah, draw a picture of an animal or something like that, and then you would get to hug each other being that animal. Or better yet, I've also played it this way, that the child draws the card and you don't see it, and then they hug you. Let's say it's a bear, and they give you this big old bear hug, and then you have to guess what animal they were. And that's kind of fun as well. So there's so many ideas, and you can develop. You don't need to be a play therapist to figure these things out. You can develop all kinds of games and activities, and the main thing really is, just like I talked about yesterday, is to be present, be connected, phones away. It's about the quality of time that you have with your child. So being fully present in your mind, in your heart, in your soul with your child. Okay. So I'm going to head on to the Facebook group right now, Circle of Support. Go ahead and join us. Come join us. It's a Facebook group that I'm reviving right now. I'm going to be popping in here even after this week, offering extra support and resources. And today, my special gift, if you join the Facebook group today, is to watch my interview with Dr. Daniel Siegel, where he talks about his and Tina Payne Bryson's book, The Power of Showing Up. And again, remember, if you're unsure about, I don't know how to play, if you've kind of forgotten about that, if you're nervous about that, maybe you have some trauma around play, something that is making you uncomfortable around play, book a call with me. So I'm offering free 20-minute calls. The link is open only this week, is when you can book it. I don't have appointments for this week, but the link will be open this week, and then we can chat next week or something like that, where we can really look at what's underneath this discomfort of play. Like, what is it bringing up for you? Or if you just want to have some tips, tools, and information about what to do with your kids, then book that call. I'm here for you to support you, because I love play and so do kids. So let's speak in their language. That is the best way to connect with them. Okay, I'll see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday. Oh, I'm going to have calming and mindful play activities tomorrow, Thursday. And Friday is all about playful parenting. So I will see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock again. Bye now.